The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
We're off and running, boys and girls, on a Thursday. How are you? Welcome into today's episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He's Dave Sherapan. I am Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel and Twitter, X, at Boston versus the Book, and the same replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM late night for you guys who are watching on the replay. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. The live chat brigade, thank you. We always love how active you guys are before the show even begins. It's super fun to see you guys in there talking, going back and forth and counting down to the show. We were off yesterday. We are live today. We are back tomorrow. Dave, I think Golden Knight fans might get mad at you because you're wearing an Oilers jersey, but they just knocked out the Knights last night. How are you on a Thursday?
I know. I said I would wear it. Somebody said, if the Oilers beat the Knights, you have to wear the Oilers jersey on BvB tomorrow. And I said, okay, done deal. They did. I lost. There's the jersey. At least I wore the Vegas Aviators hat to match it. It's the only thing. I really don't have much to match this bright orange stuff. I mean, the Tennessee orange don't match it.
No.
Some of the other stuff that I have that has orange in it don't match it. Didn't think it was appropriate to wear the Knicks stuff today because I don't know if you paid any attention that the Knicks didn't close out the series yesterday in Boston. So we have a game 6 there. We have hockey tonight, at least a couple games. That's good. We have minimal baseball going on, day baseball. PGA Championship.
Quiet.
Preakness weekend. We'll have a guest tomorrow for the Preakness, but today we're going to spin a little bit into some college hoops. This is kind of exciting.
Head coach Josh Pastner, who was hired about 35 days ago to be the new head coach of UNLV. And if you guys haven't heard this guy talk, this is a perfect guest for BvB. This guy fits. This guy fits our show. This guy fits our idea of positivity, of looking ahead, of trying to wake up each day and try to do something special for yourself and for the world. He has, I was on board before the press conference, and then after the press conference, I was completely sold. And really what he has done in the last 2 or 3 weeks with the roster building has been really interesting. So good hire for UNLV and a name hire, a guy who has done things at Georgia Tech and Memphis and now comes over to UNLV and what he has called his dream job. He wants to be here. He doesn't want to leave. There's been constant turmoil and turnover in this position since the Chris Beard situation, 5-6 years ago for UNLV. Yeah. So they're looking for some stability in the Mountain West Conference. So Coach will join us here in about an hour from now to talk about everything happening in his world and relocating to Vegas. He's got a lot of kids all on the East Coast. His whole family, they're all back east, still in Atlanta. So they have not made the move here. So we can give him some tips maybe about relocating and dealing with multi-coasts, because I'm on the East Coast all the time. You're on the East Coast all the time. So we'll talk to him about that coming up later on today. You made mention of it, so let's start with what happened last night. Well, it's interesting, Dave. Before we get to the Celtics game, what do you make of this? Division champs in the postseason are really struggling. This is normally you play the regular season to win your division, and when you win your division, you get home ice and home court, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't worked. It hasn't been something that has benefited. The Cavaliers are out. The Lakers are out. The Rockets are out. The Magic are out. The Golden Knights are out. The Celtics are 1 game from elimination. Toronto's 1 game from elimination. The Jets are one game from elimination, and the Capitals are 1 game from elimination. The only division that currently is leading a division or a playoff series are the Thunder, who could win tonight in advance. Did you make anything of this, or is this fluky?
Oh, it's fluky. It's fluky. I mean, they're all doing it. Like 1 or 2, maybe 3. Okay. But like all of them, they're almost all going to end up with a red X, using that graphic. We said it before the playoffs started. This was going to be very wide open. Like, just because teams were home and or favored didn't mean that they were going to win. And the way it played out, I mean, there's so many questions that then happened during the playoffs, especially as we get to the second round with injuries and guys, playing hurt and not hurt. Jimmy football, I love the chaos. I love it too. I'm good with this. Are you good with this?
Oh, well, I'm good with it unless it's like a trend that for 1 year, I'm fine with it. But I don't want to diminish the regular season to the point, like we've talked about this a bunch with the NFL playoffs. Like, okay, just get in. Like, okay, it's great to get your division, but rest is better. Health is better. So I don't want the regular season to be even less important. We've seen it with Major League Baseball as well. Get the wild card. Doesn't really matter if you're a divisional winner or not. You can still go and win the World Series from a wild card spot. So I want to make sure the regular season carries weight, but for 1 year, this is wild. Like, this is really fun.
I see Chris Garvey in the chat. He said the hockey ones don't shock me, but the basketball ones are very surprising.
First time ever. We've never seen this. 260 win teams down 3-1 or 3-2. We haven't seen that before.
So
the Cavs are out now, I guess. They're done. For 4-1, they lost. So,
but I mean, if you look at it, the regular season in basketball is pretty insignificant, is it not? Like, well, I don't know how you're going to keep that like strong. And then in the hockey, a lot of times the way it's set up now, I think it's important to get the 1 or the 2 so you get a wild card team in the first round. But then after that, everybody's good. Like, it's not that surprising that they're down 3-1 or going to lose.
Bill Simmons has made the point for a while about the NBA season needing to be 70 games, that we play too many basketball games and the games don't end up mattering. And so that's why you see teams. I mean, Jason Tatum did not get hurt this year, but he missed 10 games. Why? Load management. Didn't want to play, right? Had to keep him healthy. So he played 72 games this year, not 82 games. So there's been this idea of dropping it down, but it's a scary conversation for the owners because they're going to lose revenue on 6 home games. And by doing that, these guys all have contracts based upon 82 games. 6 less home games and 6 road games. That's going to create a little bit of a deficit. You get better basketball, but you might get a financial deficit that the owners aren't comfortable with. So I think there is a real conversation going on. And if Adam Silver is going to continue to say that what he's seeing in the playoffs is good, meaning the physicality, it's a football game right now in the playoffs. Like, these refs are just, we'll get to it in a second, but like, that's what happened to the Knicks last night, really. I mean, the Knicks all of a sudden started to get calls against them that they weren't getting called for in games 1 to 4. And there were fouls in games 1 to 4, and they let them go, and they finally called them in game 5. So if that's what's going to continue, we're going to see more injuries. I mean, Tatum was a non-contact, but it's not like that. But Curry's injury, Damian Lillard's injury, like, we're going to see more injuries to players the more physical the game gets.
I think. But the more physical the game gets, the closer a lot of times the series get. If you're allowed to play that way, I think the more physical team can take the more talented team and bring them down to their level sometimes. Other times, the more talented team, maybe less physical, can overcome that and then build something even bigger. Once you get past that, like when you watched the hockey last night with the Toronto, I mean, I don't even know, somebody came in the chat and said, check on your Toronto friends. I don't see leading scrimmage in here. I don't see any of the Toronto guys I usually see. That was tough. That was just like one of those
smoked.
Yeah. So, I mean, they scored a goal late, but it was basically, Jimmy Jack, Leafs are done. Yes. Toast. Done. That's it. They won the division. I don't know what the answer is to this. I really don't. Who's this? Jason Singh made it into a live BvB for the first time. Yes, sir. The Patriots hat is on. I am fully expecting to hear how they will win 10-plus games. I don't think it made the rundown. Did it make the rundown?
Oh, it made the rundown, all right.
Son of a...
We'll get to it later, but it made the rundown, all right.
Damn it! Good to see you, Jason. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell one person about the show. If you enjoy it, how you consume it, tell us here in the chat, whether you listen to it, watch it live. Thank you for coming to a live show or, during the show while we're doing it live. We're just, again, trying to figure out different ways and how you guys consume the show. It's as big of a challenge as trying to figure out why division champs are struggling in the playoffs.
Well, if you had told me before last night that we would be talking about Luke Cornett having a historic game, I would have told you you're crazy.
Who?
Glenn Ordway, the former Afternoon Drive show host in Boston, wrote last night, must say, never thought I would see this NBA first. Luke Cornett tonight became the first player in NBA history to have 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks, and a perfect night from the field, going 5 for 5. I repeat, first player in NBA history and Luke Cornett in the same sentence. I mean, this is what I talked about it going into the game, that somebody had to do something spectacular and unexpected. And I needed Joe Mazzulla to shut everybody up that was saying he can't coach. And last night you saw, and I love Sam Hauser. I mean, I've been so bummed. My favorite prop bet all last playoffs was Sam Hauser over 1.5 threes. And the guy hurt his ankle. And I had not been able to bet that damn prop. And now he's back. And I'm like, oh my God, he's back. I can bet his prop in game 6. He played his ass off. Pritchard was great. White was incredible. But Luke Cornett, if you didn't know who he is, you know him now, Dave.
Pretty impressive to say the least. But this is what teams do when star player gets hurt, backs against the wall, veteran team. Jade Albet said that was fun to watch. For who? For who was that fun to watch, Jade Al?
For us.
I mean, for people, yes, that were rooting for the Celtics, maybe, but not for the Knicks fans. They were not. It was no fun having them watching that. All of that being said, we don't know where it came from. All right. And the Celtics did get right here 34 from White, 26 from Brown, and a 25-point win in game 5. The Knicks finally do lose a road game. How does that carry over?
I have no idea. I don't know if it does, to be honest. I just wanted them to win a home game, win game 5, just force the game 6, because going to New York, it's a completely different environment. It's a completely different sport, basically. Like, to expect Luke Cornett to do what he did again, I mean, come on. That was the game of his life, okay? It was awesome. It was so fun to watch. He was everywhere because Kristaps Porzingis, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what his problem is, but he can't play. He looks like he just picked up a basketball yesterday for the first time. Yeah. And is it illness? He can't stop turning the basketball over. His jump shot is, you could land a plane on it. It's so flat. Like, there's no lift whatsoever. And defensively, he looks lost. Like, he looks more than a half a step slow, like 2 steps slow behind anybody getting off the ground to block a shot, to take a charge, whatever you might do. He's unplayable. Like, Porzingis is unplayable. And so now you're really up against it, because now you're not just down Jason Tatum. Now you're down Porzingis as well, having to go to the Garden. Whew. I mean, again, if the referees are going to call the game like that in New York, Boston's got a chance. They got a chance.
Ask the chat right now. Who wins game 6? It's only a 2-point spread, 2.5. Knicks -2 or 2.5. So just do the money line. Just type it in the chat, boys and girls. Hoop heads, all of you, step up right now. Who wins the game? I see W Punch Drunk 1 already said Knicks going away. Knicks win it going away? Going away?
It's possible. I'm not saying I'm not going to fight that point. I think there's going to be a really fun game on Friday night in New York, because
you mean the Subway Series? Soto returning to Yankee Stadium? The Mets and the Yankees? That's the fun game in New York? No?
Maybe, but I mean,
that's going to be a blast.
All I got to say is this. New York better win on Friday night.
Oh, baby.
You better win on Friday night.
Oh, no.
You better win.
Oh boy.
You better win because you go to Boston for a game 7.
Oh boy.
Ain't happening.
Can you imagine?
Ain't happening.
Can you imagine, Knicks fans? Like, just take a moment, think about this. You're up 3-1.
I told you. I told Knicks fans going into game 5. I said I would be really careful. Be really, really careful. Because if you lose game 5, and they got smoked in game 5, if you lose game 6, the NBA is notorious for this. What's best for business? A game 7 between Boston and New York is must-see TV. Okay? It is a ratings juggernaut.
Yeah.
So if you're expecting, I'm expecting the referees to be pro-Boston in game 6. And I would not even be surprised if certain referees like the extender shows up to make sure it happens that we get a game 7 between the Knicks and the Celtics.
I see PB in the chat. He's already voted Celtics. Pressure totally on New York.
100%. Yeah. Sunday, ABC, game 7. ABC, not ESPN, not TNT, ABC.
Not a streaming. That's not streaming. That's on where people can actually watch the game. Sorry.
It's true.
I'm going to vent on that a little bit as
you
we
blow
go.
the 3-game lead. It's the Knicks. Absolutely.
NFL schedule, 18 different things I got to see to watch football. It's such crap. Saw that schedule yesterday. We'll get to that in a little while. But I thought about, I don't even know how I'm going to explain it to watch some of these games to the elders that live in this house with me. They're just not going to watch it.
Yeah, they will. They'll find ways.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this... Well, I'll be clearing my schedule for Sunday now to watch that game. Whitrock says, yes.
I'm just telling you, on Friday night, we'll do the show tomorrow, but if it's a tight game and a call or two can help Boston, it's not going to surprise me in the least if the Leprechauns are out in force for the Celtics to force this, because Red Sox, Yankees, look, 0-4 was insane. This is not on the same level as 0-4, but Boston has no pressure. They had to win that game because they hadn't won a home game yet. So they had to prove they could win a home game. You hate lose a series on your home court. You can't go 0-3 when you're minus 900 to win the series. But as I said before, Boston without Tatum is still a better basketball team than the Knicks. They're better than the Knicks. It's just a matter of whether or not they play like it. And do they get the calls? Because Brunson fouled out and Mr. Robinson hit his free throws, which is insanity. Guys actually hitting free throws now. But, if that doesn't happen in game 5, it's even worse. It's even a bigger mismatch. So no pressure on Boston at all. It's all. And if Boston has a lead in the third quarter or the second half late, that entire building, Timothy Chalamet is going to be a puddle. He's not going to be able to handle himself if they're losing in the third or fourth quarter of game 6.
Relax on all that. We'll see.
Just saying.
It's just this.
You would agree though, right? The Knicks have all the pressure on them.
I said the Knicks had all the pressure going into game 4. They had to win game 4, and they did. I said if they don't win game 4, they ain't winning the series.
Right.
Well, then obviously they won game 4. Let's get this thing done in 5. Like you can't let them hang around. And then Tatum. When Tatum got hurt, I thought, all right, they're going to win this game 6. I like the Celtics yesterday. They're going to win this in game 6. They're 2.5-point favorites, 2. And I was doing the lines with Wetzel on Sports Grid. He said, what do you mean it's only 2 or 2.5? Because I told him that. He's like, it's got to be Celtics, Knicks -4. I'm like, I'm going to give the bad guys a free shot at 2 buckets? There's no chance in hell. I want them laying.
I want Boston to win for so many reasons, but I want Boston to win now because I need to see Wetzel's reaction. Like, I need Wetzel's reaction to it because I cannot believe how negative he is on Joe Mazzulla.
He is the curmudgeon of all curmudgeons.
Cannot believe how negative
he is. The epitome of the. But yesterday on the show, he wore a Paul Pierce jersey. He said, I pull this out for special occasions. He's like, I want to see him win. And he was wearing a Paul Pierce jersey under his sport coat, which I was inspired by because, how the sport coats all look good and stuff, but he had the jersey on like in a sign of solidarity. I was like, let's go. But are you surprised the way the game ended?
No.
I am not either.
No. That's what Boston does when they're, this is the problem for the Celtics. And I think the criticism is fair. Tight games, Knicks are going to win. Blowout games, Boston's going to win. So if they're up by double digits, they're not going to blow a 20-point lead again in this series. It's never going to happen because Boston relaxed.
Oh, don't say that.
Not happening. It's
It
not
happened
happening.
twice.
I know it's not happening again. There's no way it would ever happen again because Boston will take timeouts. Missoula now coached when they were up by 23 points. Missoula was taking timeouts on a 6-0 run. Like they got it to 17. He was like timeout. Like he was coaching like it was a 2-point game. So that won't happen again. Yeah, Boston won't pull that again. But I'll be very curious to see. Wow, Roger Long, could this happen? Boston's favored a tip? No, not for Game 6. Game 7, yes.
Hold on. Game 7, they're huge favorites.
Huge favorites, really?
Yeah, they're at least 6 or more.
Wow.
Yeah.
6-point favorites in Game 7.
No?
Oh, that's a huge number. I don't know.
Who in the hell? I don't know. I mean, they were 4.5 last night and won by 25.
Right.
They're going to be, I would make them 6. Come get the Knicks. Yeah,
Wow.
2.5 or 2 tonight. No, they're not going to end up favored.
Okay.
The
You
Celtics
just
are
have
not
to
gonna end
keep
up
the
favored.
doubt in the Knick fans' minds. You just have
Pick
to
'em, maybe.
keep this doubt. I mean, I
They're
realize
coming for blood tomorrow. That is going to be old school Madison Square Garden electric tomorrow. Electric.
in the
It's gonna
first
be great.
quarter until you see if Boston comes out and Derek White does what he's done the last 2 games, which is go 4 for 4 from 3. They do that again. It takes all the air out of that building and everybody goes, oh my God. I mean, it was funny. I realized that Terrell Furman, who I do the Betting Pros show with on Tuesday nights, he's never seen the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals
In his life.
in his life. He's never seen the Knicks. Forget championships in 73. He hasn't seen them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's how young
So I'm
some
like,
of these
man, there's
guys
like
are. It's
there's
crazy.
27-year-old kids walking around who have never seen the Knicks even in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So that
That's-
doubt
Mm.
is there. It's such a reversal of what it used to be with Boston versus New York.
Yeah.
Where like you would say like, oh my gosh, how old were you in 86? And then you had the 2003 team with Grady Little and Pedro, and then the 2004 team going down 3-0 and all of this stuff. Like the fortunes of such flip that Boston used to be the one that was like, okay, when did the ghost show up?
Right.
Now it's New York. The Knicks are the ones now saying, are we going to blow this?
Yeah.
Are we going to blow a 3-1 lead to the
That's
Celtics?
a tough look for the Knicks guys and girls. Good
If it
luck with
happens.
that. Yeah.
If it's a big
Just
if.
Friday's going to be awesome. That game 6, fantastic, must-watch television. Can't
Oh.
wait. And probably multiple betting opportunities. We'll discuss all that tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. The Warriors got rolled by the T-Wolves. How about for our Minnesota people? Congratulations, guys. Speaking of
Thank goodness.
getting into the Western Conference Finals.
2 years in a row.
Yep. This team now in having a chance. It's different this year though, right? Because they look confident. They look like they belong.
Oh, they know they belong. Yeah, that was a formality yesterday. It was hard to make a case. We had people come on trying to talk and make a case for Warriors and stuff on the show, and I there was no case to be made. It was 1, 2, 3 Cancun. It was it. They got down. When they got down, it was it. Over. But it can't cloud your eyes for what Minnesota is, I think.
D-Stout. No.
Oh no. What is this? D-Stout 19, one of our Minnesota connections. This is where we choke. It's the Minnesota way. I won't be getting my hopes up. Oh no. What a life of just being beaten down. D-Stout.
I want the T-Wolves to win it all. I mean, like Boston's not going to beat, even if Boston gets by the Knicks. I don't think Boston's going to beat Indiana, given without Tatum. They might. It probably is a fun series, but let's just say, miracle of miracles that they were to get there and get to the finals. Both OKC or the T-Wolves would whip the Celtics, just given the talent that they've got. So Boston's not going back-to-back this year. I would love to see the T-Wolves because everyone's been so OKC crazy. It's the Thunder. It's the Thunder. It's the Thunder. And they've given the T-Wolves no respect all year.
We're going to get way too much A-Rod.
That is true. I'll give you that. That's the reason why.
Way too much A-Rod.
That's the
I
reason
love
why they
everything
hate
about
that.
Minnesota, but
Except
A-Rod,
him. Yeah, I agree.
I just don't.
It's hard to
Sorry.
remember that he's the owner of the team. I would agree. It's like
It ain't that hard. He's there. He's in the face. He's on
Yeah.
the interview. It's like, man, enough. Chill. We're good. I don't know why. It's not that I don't like A-Rod. I just don't need all of it.
Boston's that big.
CBW says offshore Celtics are minus 171 plus 150 for the Pacers if that happens.
Wow.
Pretty close. That's pretty
Really?
close.
That big
I'd make it a little bit less, to be perfectly honest. I was thinking 150 to 160 range myself, but they're going to be favored in game one. So again, you base it off the game one price and what you think. But I don't know how much they'll be favored because I don't know what they're going to, bring to the table. All the numbers that you had done are gone because of the Tatum injury.
Right.
So all the work you did, this is when you earn your money, when you got to, come up with stuff on the fly. Can't say nobody, but not many people had the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals on one side, let alone the Knicks against them.
Right.
And then if it's the Celtics without Tatum, that's a whole nother. You just throw everything out. Here we go. Get a piece of paper, start working a number. Let's go.
9-2, by the way.
What?
9-2.
Who is?
Boston's 9-2 without Tatum this year.
Oh,
I'm just saying. They're 9-2.
Really?
Yeah. So just saying on that. To hockey, well, actually, first question. If Minnesota gets rest, like say the Nuggets win tonight, could that be a big deciding factor that OKC's got to go 7 games against a really tough team in Denver and the T-Wolves get to sit and rest? Or would you rather keep playing?
Again, rust, all that stuff. It's so hard to measure. But winning in 5 and being done and hoping that Denver can extend this series, Minnesota would hope for that to happen. They'll rest as long as they need to. I think it's a good thing. I was always in favor of the rest, even trying to make the number or looking to make a bet on a team. I'm good with the team that took the rest. You?
I am for everyone except Julius Randle. I want him playing. Like I want Randle to keep going. Like
wait
let's
a
not
second.
stop.
Timeout. 20-second timeout in the chat. Henny just came in the chat and said, "Why is this retard wearing Oilers colors? Anyone want to fill me in here?" Henny, I lost a bet, and somebody said if the Oilers beat the Knights, I have to wear the Oilers stuff.
I'm not putting that up.
You don't have to put it up, but I just read it and lost. So yes, my buddy said you got to wear the Oilers stuff if they win. So I'm in Vegas, but that's why I'm wearing it. But thank you for getting in the chat and asking the question. I appreciate that.
Yes, Julius Randle is who we're talking about, Fathead. I would agree. I want Randle to keep going. That's my only question about the rest for the T-Wolves. Let that guy keep eating because he's been so good. So I am a little worried about him cooling off.
Like how good have the T-Wolves been? It's not just Ant carrying them. It's not.
No, it's Randle. I mean, if you want, this is where tip of the cap, JY, we got you, Coach James Young from Sports Grid, who came on the program, and he said Randle will be the difference against the Lakers. He was right. And Randle will be the difference here against the Warriors. He was right. I mean, Julius Randle is the key because he's not the A side of that team. It's Anthony Edwards. Right. So you have a guy who's used to being the A side, can just relax and play. And he's a double machine right now. I mean, he's just tremendous for this team. They've got the outside shooting. They've got the defense with Gobert. They got the superstar that can get to the rim whenever he wants. And the X factor is Julius Randle. He's been tremendous.
I mean, we got to pump these Minnesota guys up. I don't see King of Car Seats in here, but D-Stout 19 said they're going to lose. I mean, they got to be at their peak confidence level right now.
McDaniels has been great.
Has been the X factor.
Fair. He's right. That's fair. Also, he's been great as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing great. They can absolutely win 8 more basketball games and win it all. They're 8 wins away. 100%. They're in range to win it all. Absolutely. We were talking hockey. Golden Knights, Oilers tied at 0, going to overtime. And they lose it 1-0.
Again, we talked about this in the past. The 0-0 games in hockey, phenomenal. 0-0 games in baseball. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I saw Chicago Kristen in here earlier. She said she fell asleep in the third period because there were no goals and it was, a tight game. I get it, all of it. The Knights scored in that overtime game, right, and won and didn't score again in the series. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
No, it wasn't overtime. It was 0.4 seconds left.
Well, that's when they scored, right?
Right.
To win the game. Game
Yep.
3. They lose game 4, get shut out. They lose game 5, get shut out. They didn't score another goal from that late. I mean, Edmonton was dominant. And then
Skinner.
This stat.
Skinner, this is from our guy Addison who pulled this, and this is wild. Skinner in 13 game 4, 5, 6, and 7s in the postseason. He is 12-1. 11 of those 13 games, he has given up 2 or fewer goals, and he now has 3 shutouts in those 13 games in games 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? He is. I can't. I'm almost kind of bummed out that this wasn't going to a game 6 because that was the easiest under of the season last night.
Right.
6.5. That was 6.5. It was one goal got scored. 1-0. Does it matter?
Honestly, surprised by that number. I was surprised that it was 6.5. It was 6.5 when we did the show late, and I was like, guys, I honestly don't know what I'm missing, but this is an under again. And I said Edmonton and got lucky because they got the goal, but game was an under.
Would you? This is an interesting point. I saw this today. Would you play Pickard in games 1, 2, and 3, and just wait and play Skinner later in the series? So you're not playing in the first 3 games?
Ada with 2 M's, 2-5-5-5. Safe to say Skinner won't play until game 4 to Western Conference Finals. No, I would play him. I wouldn't let this guy. I'd be driving him to and from the rink and whatever he needed right now. He's back, and we know that Pickard is there if we need it, but we got you back. You were the guy all season. This is a dream. You have 2 goalies that can win. Skinner's the guy, though, for me. I 100% would play him. No?
I don't know. I would be hesitant in game 1.
Really?
If it's Dallas, I'd be hesitant in game 1 just because of what he's done. The numbers tell you he needs to go deeper in series. Oilers will not have home ice for the 3rd consecutive series here in the playoffs. Does that matter to you? No matter who they play, Winnipeg or Dallas, they will not have home ice.
I don't think it matters.
No?
I don't think it matters.
Hasn't so
really
far.
Don't. I think the way they're playing, so the difference, I mean, and don't get me wrong, you got the game 7 of the Stanley Cup final last year, so there's no real difference, but the way they can lock down defensively this season has been so good, and they do it so confidently. They sat back and were happy to play that road game last night, knowing they had a 3-1 lead in the series. I mean, Messier kept saying it in between periods, longer this goes and Vegas doesn't have a lead, this is bad. It was bad. And it was another case of them winning a game that I felt like they kind of dominated, even for being 0-0. That's a road game. They can play that. I don't think it matters.
What do you make of if you're an Oiler? I want the Oilers to win it all for a couple of reasons.
Oh,
I want McDavid to get his cup. And I want to stop that conversation because all-time great players are always going to be judged based upon whether or not they won it all. So I would love to see that. It is fun to go 1993 on teams from Canada, but it just sort of means more for Canada to go ahead and win the cup. So that's another reason why. And then secondly, I really think I like Dallas. I've bet Dallas. So I'm money-wise, I'm cheering for Dallas. But I think the Oilers, it would be good for hockey, I think, if the Oilers were the cup champs. Bring the cup out west again, bring it back to Canada, and then let's really get into it in the next couple of years because I think there's just a lot of negativity around this Oilers team. Everyone thinks they're going to choke. They're not going to win.
You think they think that now?
I think everybody in hockey thinks that they're going to choke. This team's not capable of winning.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think right now, I mean, they're the odds-on favorite.
Mm-hmm. They should be. I mean, with the way they're playing, they should be. I mean, they're killing people right now or shutting people down. I mean, it's without home ice, they've been tremendous. Vegas didn't win a game at home in this series. They lost 3 of them. Went 0-3.
Yeah.
That's bad. Like, that's You can't lose all your home games, Bruce Cassidy. Like, what are we doing?
Sometimes the team's just better. I mean, really, the Edmonton was a better team 5-on-5, and the Vegas power play couldn't do squadouche. I almost said it. Almost said it. I didn't say it with my chest, Will, so I stopped.
Oilers are not the Leafs. That's
Oilers are not the Leafs. Sharpie _RW. You're absolutely right. Because that one was
JR, this take makes no sense. Because the origin of the players that win the cup are from Canada. That's not the point. Like,
put that back up. Everyone talks about Canada not winning a cup for a while, but the majority of the players on the U.S. winning teams are Canadian. This is true, but that doesn't mean like you still want to win it for the city.
It means nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing.
They still want to win it for the city.
It doesn't. I don't care. That's a Canadian take of like, well, you guys take all of our players. And that's why you're going. What? That's dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. That's like, what are we doing?
Voice for a while.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Like I don't understand the idea that like, well, where are your players from? I don't know. That's like saying every championship across the world. If you look at the roster for international basketball players, like they're all from America. Like look at the World Baseball Classic. Like baseball players are all from the Caribbean. Like what? Like who cares where they're from? It's not what we're talking about.
I don't know, Garby. We do a lot of shows with guys from Canada. He said all of Canada is cheering for the team that's in the Cup Finals. That's not necessarily the case. Like
I would agree that
Toronto people aren't cheering for the Oilers, and the Oilers aren't cheering for the Maple Leafs. And even if they're the only one, the
Red Wings were 75% Russian.
Yeah, that's when they won. Kozlov.
That's great.
Backrot,
Mikey, you're being mean. Still not a Canadian team winning it.
Hell?
All right.
Wow.
I think Dallas. I mean, look, I'm all in on Dallas. Well, let's go. I mean,
Dallas hasn't won yet, but if Dallas wins and plays Edmonton, that is absolute must-watch television every game. And the way the East is shaping up, we'll discuss the East here in a second.
By the way, are we calling Luke Cornett Luke Garnett? That's the greatest nickname I've heard in a long time. If that's true, if that's what Boston's calling Luke Garnett, they're calling him Luke Garnett.
Listen, we got to give credit where credit is due. Mikey Parsons watching the show here on the Twitter. Thank you for coming in and saying Luke Garnett going to the Celts, going to carry the Celts. I mean, if you made that up, hat tip to you. If you did not, whoever did, that's awesome.
Luke Garnett.
Calm down.
That's tremendous.
Calm down. You ain't doing that again.
Because I've seen the Luke Cornett shirt in the Corn writing in the Corn K. Addison, you know what I'm talking about, the way that the Corn script is. So I've seen that T-shirt online already, and I'm like, I have to buy that T-shirt. Like I must find that in Boston at some point to get that. I had not heard the Luke Garnett yet, though. That is tremendous. That is tremendous.
He said he heard it on Sports Talk today.
Okay, give it 98.5 or EEI. Whoever came up with it. Tip of the cap to whoever came up with that, because that's a great line to call them that. I'm a big fan of that. But Oilers would prefer to play whom in your mind, Winnipeg or Dallas?
Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I don't think it's close.
All Canadian Western Conference Final, all west of the Mississippi. That's an interesting Western Conference Final if we get that.
Yeah. Think the NHL executives are hoping for that?
No.
Winnipeg,
no.
Edmonton.
No.
In the West, in the mountain and West Coast, or no, that's all mountain. That'll be all mountain time zone stuff.
But it's all Canada. It's all it's all late night click.
Yeah.
We're not watching that in America.
Puckheads, because I call the hoop heads, and you guys want a P instead of the poop heads for hoop heads. We're gonna call you guys hockey guys puckheads.
Yes.
And you can switch a letter there, and I can have to apologize to Will. I get it. But who do you guys think Edmonton would rather play?
Winnipeg, without a doubt.
I'd be very surprised if someone said Dallas.
Yeah.
And not going to bad rap you, but there's Garby said by far Winnipeg. Yeah. Chicago Christian, you will be falling asleep. You will not make a third period of any of those games. Yeah, I don't think so.
We'll see how that goes down. Watch your eardrums, boys and girls. I'm giving you the heads up warning. It is time for the Brigade Proxy NFL story of the day. It's actually stories of the day. In or out, Dave? Are you in or out on the way the NFL teams are announcing their schedules now?
I love the witty stuff. I really do. I was totally distracted yesterday, completely out of pocket. So I saw nothing.
Okay.
So I didn't see one, and I didn't take the time to go look. So what did I miss?
I personally,
did the Chargers win it again?
Yes, 100%. The Chargers,
Okay.
The Chargers did a complete Minecraft announcement release.
Okay.
And like you have to watch it like at least 3 or 4 times because of all the Easter eggs they put in there.
Okay.
Like there's so many witty, funny things. Like for the announcement of the Chargers against the Raiders, they put Tom Brady. They had a guy in a cabin for the Raiders house, and they had the Raider guy put up a picture of Tom Brady, the tuck rule, and a Roomba, because that's what they call what the Raiders play. Allegiant Stadium is called the Roomba.
Oh.
So like there's like a lot of like little witty things like that were pretty funny that they did. Yeah, the Colts had to apologize for theirs. So
they had to take it down.
Yeah, they
took it down an hour after.
Yeah, they had to do that.
They got Tyreek involved, but not the right way.
Yeah, they say sorry.
What did the Steelers do? The Steelers did something with guys hunting or something. Or
okay,
I don't know.
I didn't see the Steelers one.
Yeah, I got a text message like, "Wow, the Steelers are joining modern social media or something."
Yes. Okay. I think the NFL has kind of told all of the teams they need to do this because you do take over for the better part of the day. I mean, it was leaking out all over the place, but you had all these different videos popping up at different times throughout the entire day from these teams when it came to the announcements of their schedules. So
my guy, Vegas Gregan, calls the different holes in his life in the game, like a game of life here in Vegas. He calls them leaks. Okay. And you can't have any leaks. Like when you're you hit something big at the table or a big parlay or something, and you go right to the strip club or you go right to the wherever and it's bad. So you can't have no leaks.
Okay.
The schedule release stuff, no leaks. I'm tired of the leaks. I was up in the morning before my appointments. I had the social open and I had to close it because I'm like, I don't want to know the international games only. I don't want to know this only. I don't care. Although I was intrigued when I saw the Steelers playing at the Jets in week 1, which means that the guy's going there. He's going there.
That's the theory.
Revenge
game 1. Rodgers
against Fields.
The black and the gold going up against Justin Fields and the Jets.
I mean, you want to talk about, like, you can't make this stuff up. That's not Mason Rudolph versus Justin Fields.
No.
But just come out at the same time. Like, say, if you say you're going to do something at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, whatever it is, just do that. Why does everybody feel the need to like push it out?
Because the NFL schedule release. I mean, Dave, they made an announcement about the announcement. They went to the NFL draft and they had 2 people stand up there and say, May 14th will be the day we're going to announce the schedules. They had an announcement for the announcement. Like that's how big of a deal it is to the NFL when the schedule comes out. And frankly, I think just because we are football crazy and we are looking at different teams and paths as to how their year is going to go, it does matter. I mean, when you play teams and where you play teams matters. How many road games in a row do you have? What primetime games do you have? I mean, the Chiefs have 7 primetime games and 8 standalone games this season of their 17. Like,
boy, they're really, really forcing the Chiefs on us on the way out here, aren't they? Like,
they really want Taylor Swift. They really want as much Taylor Swift as they can possibly get. That's what they want. I mean, it's bad enough that we're going to get him on one holiday. Do we need him on both? Like, do I need
Apparently,
do I need the Chiefs on both holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving? I really don't.
Yeah, you do.
Why? Why? Like, I get to hate watch during 2 holidays now. That's great.
Yeah, and it's the late one on Christmas, huh? Oh boy.
Yep. Divisional game, Arrowhead. They asked to be on Christmas. So fine, put them on Christmas. They want to be part of the Christmas schedule every year. Fine.
Yeah.
Why Thanksgiving and Chiefs at the Cowboys?
Monster.
What?
That'll be a monster. I mean, you got Green Bay, Detroit first. Look at that.
This is the best. I mean, in my
Thanksgiving schedule is amazing.
This is the best of my life. I was thinking about this last night. Of my life, I can't remember having 3 games that have, and I hate the Cowboys, but it's the Chiefs and the Cowboys. But you have 2 divisional games that are massive.
Yeah.
Massive on Thanksgiving.
I know.
Good luck with Survivor, guys. Which team are you holding back on for Thanksgiving and Black Friday?
Well, look at that, by the way. Do you see a couple things there?
What?
The Cowboys play on both.
Oh, yeah, they do.
The Lions play on both.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chiefs play on both.
Why are they doing that?
Uh-oh.
What's that mean? Why uh-oh?
How are you going to figure out? You got to save a team or 2 for each. Well, you can't use any of those teams on Thanksgiving if you're going to save them for Christmas. So now your list of teams to use just got even shorter for the Survivor. There's Auntie, all caps. Good to see you, Auntie. When do we talk about Circus Survivor? Season long Excel sheet has been updated. What a run Auntie had last year. My goodness.
Soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too early. May 23rd, they start taking entries at Circa, by the way.
Yes.
So we are counting down to when you can start to enter the Survivor and the millions. They're going to make the guarantee announcement here in the next couple of days. So stay tuned. Be watching for that. I'm sure we'll cover that for you extensively. But 7 primetime games, 8 standalone games for the Chiefs is just like, oh my, really? Okay. If they fall off the way that other losers of the Super Bowl have fallen off, we're going to get a lot of crap football out of the Chiefs. I know it's Mahomes, but oh boy. Okay. So last year, although have you seen Kelsey?
I have not.
Either Ozempic or a hell of a workout regimen. Dude's lost 25 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he looked good.
Do they still have a podcast?
Yep. Mm-hmm. But they're on hiatus. They're letting the Jason's wife kind of carry the family banner.
Okay.
For that with her podcast.
Okay.
But yes, they are still doing a podcast.
Huh.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift meal plan. Maybe, Mike. I don't think actually it's not nuts. I mean, she does eat clean, so I mean, I think there is something. Maybe there's some truth to that. That Taylor really has him locked down, losing weight to get ready for his last season. I mean, this is it. This is last year of his contract. He's not going to play anywhere else but Kansas City. I doubt the Chiefs are going to bring him back, maybe on a 1-year deal, but I mean, he is slowing down dramatically, like we know. Age is catching up with him. So this is his last run. Chiefs are going to be in for a really tough division. And this is why I cannot believe that the Chargers let this happen. That the Chargers gave up their home game to go play the Chiefs in Brazil. This is nuts. This should.
So you have to okay this.
Correct. They have to say yes to this, and they did. I believe that divisional games should be barred from international football. We're not playing divisional games. Crucial 6 games, divisional games on your schedule. Those 6 games are barred from being sent out of the country. We're doing home and home in the division. We're not going to Brazil. I hate this. This is, I cannot stand that this game is being played in Brazil.
Strange. There's too many international games as it is. And to take, what is a competitive advantage is playing a division game at home, no matter who it is.
And what fan
Tennessee
base? Yes. And
is
what
even
fan base?
A trash division and a trash game,
but it's still home.
Personal to Jacksonville and Tennessee. But if either one is playing for a playoff spot, becomes a very important game. And then just to throw that in another country and remove that whatever home field advantage or disadvantage it is, isn't right. I agree with you. I don't think they should do that, but if they okay it.
They did. And I know that Chief fans are saying, well, we take over SoFi anyway, so it's not really a home game for them. You're still sleeping in your own bed. You're still not getting on a plane to go play football. It's a big difference when you got to fly somewhere, sleep in a hotel, go through a different regiment, walk through differently. It's just a different way of preparing for a game than when you're playing at home.
Well, the international travel is different too, right, P-Roll? I mean, they leave way earlier.
Earlier. Yeah, you have to go through customs. You have to go through all the different. Yeah, you have to worry about your food, you have to worry about your water, you have to worry about everything. There's all sorts of different things you could run into when it comes to an international game. You know, different viruses, different things that hit you. Like it's a travel nightmare. It's a logistical nightmare for any team. And you're picking that game, the one game you have KC coming to your place, and you say, yes, we're okay with this. I get the money, okay? And the Chargers are desperate for money for a variety of reasons. So they get this big payday by going to Brazil and take their, quote, brand internationally. But my God, giving up a home game, divisional home game is unreal. Like this is bad.
Surprised.
So there's someone in the chat just said the Patriots are going down to the Raiders in week 1. I think this is awesome. The fact you want to talk about your team with a storyline in game 1, the Patriots, Josh McDaniels got fired while he was trick-or-treating with his kids. Josh McDaniels hates the Las Vegas Raiders. He's Tom Brady. His team is week 1 for the Patriots. Like, are you kidding me? Patriots, Raiders in Foxborough in week 1?
EERG. What is that? SXR. I don't even know how to say that. Zexer. I like it. Coming in hot. Thanks for coming in and leaving a comment.
A lot of new people
the hell
last
out
couple
of
of days.
This is fantastic.
Fun. Yeah.
This is great.
Guys.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Yes. Revenge.
Yeah. Yes.
Revenge.
Yes. It's
Ethan Zaretsky.
100%. And just so you guys are
Revenge
curious.
For what?
Oh, well, 1, firing Josh. 2,
okay.
Do you forget how the last game ended between the Patriots and the Raiders? Do you remember the backward pass that got picked up and returned for a touchdown here? I was there.
Oh, when the Raiders won.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Last time the Patriots lost to the Raiders was a bad day.
Yeah.
That was a bad day.
Right.
So, yeah, revenge for that, 100%. And if you are a Patriot fan, this is music to your ears. Look at the schedule strength for the Patriots.
This is ridiculous.
They have the 3rd easiest schedule in football.
Yeah.
In football. They have an easier schedule than the Titans, who were the worst team in football last year.
Yeah. How is that possible?
Because they have a last place schedule.
Yeah, and a division with really only one good team in it. Thanks,
Patriots,
Fox.
Patriots favored last year, 0 games. Patriots favored this year, 11. 11.
That's too big of an adjustment.
And their win total is 7.5, Dave. It's 7.5.
Major juice over at a lot of places, though.
Yep. It's going to go
wherever you guys are watching the show at right now. Please check the season win total for the New England Patriots and put it in the chat if you can. Oh, snap, Chef Benny, we're back. We're not back. Nothing's back yet. Okay.
I agree.
8.5 in play with this schedule. I think some books already have 8.5.
Oh, really? Already?
Well, I mean, when you look at the schedule, and you know the way they're going to bet it, how many times have I said when it's 7.5 minus 160 over?
Go to 8.
Just go to 8. Move the damn number, right? So you could go to 8, and leave it.
Butchie's got 8.5. All right, Butchie's at 8.5 already.
Yeah, I mean,
I would move it already. If I was a book, I would be at 8.5. Oh, I mean, I'll say this: I hate the amount of attention and love the Patriots are getting right now. I can't stand. Like, I absolutely hate it. Like, this is bad. Like, stop talking about the Patriots. Everybody, stop.
Zaretsky, I see in here, Caesars, New Jersey, over 7.5 is minus 170.
It's nuts.
I mean, Caesars in New Jersey, if you're watching the show, which you should watch the show, move the damn number to 8. Nobody wants to lay 170 on a season win total. Arizona DK Santana said is 8.5.
Oh my God.
Butchie is a prediction market. You are a prediction market now, Butchie.
CBW says way over. Patriots way over 8.5. All right.
CBW, don't fan this flame, please. We don't need you to do that.
Do you know how you guys?
We enjoyed the last couple seasons while you were getting beat down. It was great.
Fitzy and you guys should see the text exchanges between Fitzy and I right now. It's hysterical. Like every day we're going back and forth with different like scenarios and different situations. Fitzy is 100% committed to 10 wins. He is like on a table saying they're going 10-7. They're going 10-7, and they gave them a lot of breaks. I mean, we'll go through it as we always do. We do each team individually during the summer. It helps us keep the summertime content going. So that's what we do to get through the doldrums of July. We do individual teams and breaking down their schedules. But that's why I didn't create any graphics today for the schedule. We'll do all that later. But the Steelers play week 3. More on that here in just 1 second. Mm-hmm. But the Patriots play Miami in September. That sucks, okay? But they play 3 of their first 4 games at home, and they play Miami in January in Foxborough. Like, they got to go to Foxborough in the frigid cold. So you open up 2-2. They have a stretch where they're playing like the Titans and the Browns and the Falcons in the middle part of the schedule. Like, winning 10 games, if they beat or split with Miami, they beat the Jets twice, split with the Bills, and then win some of their non-conference games, they've got a lot of cupcake games. Playing the Saints, playing the Titans, playing the Giants. Like, they got games they can win. Games that they should win. So, like, 10 I say 9-8. That's my prediction looking at the schedule. But there are some that say 10-7 and 11-5 is not, or 11-6 is not incredibly impossible if they stay healthy.
Raiders home, Dolphins away.
Yep.
Steelers home, Panthers home.
That's 2-2 at minimum.
Then at Bills,
loss.
At Saints,
win.
At Titans,
win.
Home Browns,
win.
Home Falcons,
win.
They're favored in every one of those damn games. At the Buccaneers,
toss up
that game.
Probably.
That's
tough place to play.
That's
fine.
A 5-point spread. They're losing that game.
Fine. That's 2 losses, by the way.
Thursday night football.
Mm-hmm.
At home against the Jets.
Win.
Should be. At the Bengals.
Probably a loss.
Definitely a loss.
Probably. They beat them last year.
Home against the Giants.
Win.
Probably a win. How's that?
It's a win.
This place says it's a spread of 3. That can't be right. How are they only 3 points?
Patriots.
Patriots -3 against the Giants.
Jump on that right now.
Yeah, that's in week 13. That's a bet right now. I don't really do that, but like if you find a book that has Patriots -3 right now against the Giants in freaking December, when the Giants are going to be
out of it,
more of a
starting Jackson Dart.
What the hell? That's unbelievable. I don't normally do that, but that would be like I'd have to maybe go shopping right now. Then bye week. They don't have their bye until week 14.
Late stinks. That's one tough one, but it's not that big of a deal. It's tough, but yeah.
Home against the Bills.
Toss up
at the Ravens. They're not beating the Bills. Come
on. They get split with the Bills.
I know. Then
it's off a bye.
They're at the Ravens.
That's a loss.
They're at the Jets.
I would give them a loss, maybe.
And then,
probably win.
And then the last game of the year is at home against the Dolphins. Holy crap. They could win 9. I don't know.
10 games, 11 games. It's possible. It's not nuts. 10 wins. I mean, Fitzy is like on a table going 10 wins. Like, look at the breakdown and look at how they're going to play. I mean, you have revenge games all over the place. Mike Vrabel is playing the Titans, the team that fired him.
I ain't worried about them winning that game. They're definitely winning that game.
I mean, hair on fire. The Raiders, Josh McDaniels, team that fired him. They're gonna go after him. I mean, like, there's just games that you look at and you're like, my God, these are games where the Patriots are gonna have extra motivation to go out there and win.
Just ran the schedule, boys. How many games do you think the Patriots win? Just the first blush. Butchie says 9.
Yeah.
Raymaker 512 says 10-7.
I'm on 9, 50's on 7. So, I mean, on 10 rather. So those are the two prevailing, two Patriot homers coming through and telling you what we think what's going on happening. Can we go to Patriot Steelers?
Why in the hell would you want to do that?
What? We've never done a show. We've never done a show in Boston. In September, it's not going to be cold. Steeler fans are going to make the trip. You know that Steeler fans are going to be in the area. We go to a show on Friday from Boston, and we go to the game on Sunday.
We'll see. I don't know why. It's baseball playoffs are in full force then. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Playoffs.
Want to go to a Patriots Steelers regular season game in September?
You know how many people would show up if we're in Boston and we bring Fitzy and Emerson and everyone from Pittsburgh and Rainmaker and everyone else to show up? We could throw a bash in Boston for that game on Friday. Do a roll call Friday in Boston. Hell, do it in Fenway if the Red Sox can figure out a bullpen. Maybe they're even in the playoffs for that week.
The Red Sox bullpen is a complete and utter disaster.
Absolute disaster. 3 straight walk-off losses to the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
See, Yorkie, there we go. I agree. It would be sick. It would be awesome. It'd be so fun.
We'll see. I'll go with you, Matt. We'll make a video, Addison. All right.
We'll try to make it happen, Yorkie. We'll figure it out. So we got some time.
Okay.
The game's not in Boston. I know, Chef Benny, the game's in Foxborough. I know that, but it's still, everybody would want to go to Boston, and we just drive down Route 1 for the game on Sunday. Nobody wants to go to Patriot Place. Although I will be doing BvB from the Patriots training camp. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be doing that. So we'll do either from the stadium or from training camp, but probably from the stadium. I'm working on that to do in July to have it be live at Patriots training camp.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
I'm excited. 100%. Yes. Trevor going to Taylor. We're more like my daughter at 9 or 8, but yes. Providence is closer. That is true, Chef Benny, but it's much harder to get to Providence. That's the problem. Providence is closer. That's why Patriot players often lived in Rhode Island when they played in Foxborough. That is
really
true. Yeah. Providence is 40 minutes from Foxborough. Foxborough is an hour 10, but worse traffic by far to get to Boston from the south part of the city to go up and do that. This story broke this morning.
You put that Giants thing up there. We have to mention that
they have the toughest schedule in football.
How is that game? How do they not go under?
Because of because of the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Whatever the case is, the Giants 5.5 got to be
under,
a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
I mean, the number's 5 and it's going to go under. I mean, so you take if you have to use a half number, you want to use 4.5 and take your chances. But I think there's no chance in hell they win 6 games.
I would agree.
Giants schedule? Oh my Lord.
Toughest in football. Yeah. Bears with the second toughest in football, however, which is somewhat surprising. Those are 2 bad football teams who are both with very difficult schedules.
Yep.
And then the Lions and the Eagles, obviously the 2 of the best teams in the NFC having difficult schedules, which was, predicted. Your team, though, how do you feel about your team having an over 500 schedule strength? That can't be something
Well, I mean,
Steelers?
They're in a really good division.
Yeah, because the Ravens
and Bengals. I mean, those games are tough.
Yeah.
The Browns game shouldn't be, but usually end up being. And then the rest, the way it breaks down, I don't know. I did it. 7's the bottom. Max, everything goes perfect, and they get a quarterback is 10. But I don't think there's 10 with the current situation. I don't think so.
It's going to be wild to watch. I can't wait to see how your quarterback situation plays out. Like it's May, Dave, and we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Steelers.
They don't either.
That's incredible.
And they don't know.
It's a 9-8 Tomlin special. Yes,
Lewis. I don't know.
We've got Coach coming on here in just 1 second.
Sweet.
So we'll do one more story before we get to college basketball, and this is from the Bears. Caleb Williams and his family were actively looking at playing in the UFL last year.
Is that real?
According to a new book, yes. That they did not want to be drafted by the Bears, and they were literally shopping the legality of playing football in the UFL. 100% true.
100% true, Zaretsky says.
How does that fly in Chicago? Like, he's already having a tough time connecting with the market as is. And this story comes out.
He better win.
Right? That's my point. That was my thought too.
The pressure now, the noise is going to be, you should have gone to play in the UFL. I mean, now you gave him an out. Like, oh, Chicago Coos says, do you blame him?
His father is quoted by Seth Wickersham in this book saying, Chicago is the place where quarterbacks go to die.
Wow.
His father, that's Caleb Williams' father, makes that comment in the
I mean,
book.
think about all the Chicago quarterbacks, though. Like, it's been a while. I'm not saying it's completely 100% legit statement, but he's not 100% wrong either. Quarterbacks have not had success in Chicago. There's no 4,000-yard passer in history.
Correct. Yeah.
Chicago.
You didn't see Annie's tweet that went viral on that after the Pope was from Chicago, saying that Chicago produced a Pope before a 4,000-yard passer.
That was funny.
So
that was a nice zinger, Annie.
We'll pick that back up on the other side.
Yep.
We are really happy to be joined by the new head basketball coach for UNLV. He is one Mr. Josh Pastner, joining us here on BvB, joining us here again to talk UNLV basketball. Coach, Matt and Dave, welcome to the show. Thank you for doing it. Really appreciate the time today.
No, thanks for having me, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And ready to talk some UNLV basketball and talking some hoops. And so it's been fast and furious since I got the job here and have loved every second of it.
You're 30 days in. What have you liked about Vegas so far, sir? Like, you know, because I know you're working a lot and you haven't put anything yet in the shells and stuff behind you.
Well, I'm saving the shells so we get some there's a lot of room for big time basketballs when we have great wins. However, I want to show you, I do have the Jerry Tarkanian book.
It's a must, right? It's a requirement.
Got that. And then wait, I've got the UNLV Running Rebels Pressure Defense Philosophy and Amoeba Defense by Jerry Tarkanian.
Wow.
So right now, these are my two prized possessions, and a lot of opportunity to put all kinds of basketballs for some great wins when we get there.
Just lay it flat.
Yeah, don't worry
I'll
about
lay it flat for right now. I'll put it back after our interview.
Coach, I'm an adjunct professor at UNLV. And
yes, sir.
When I heard you were getting the job, I was super excited because I had heard that you were actively wanting this job. And I think people who come to UNLV look at it as a stepping stone, that I'm going to go there temporarily 2 years, 3 years, and then look and leave. What makes this job so attractive to you, and why did you want it?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say this. I've been at great institutions at different spots. The last 2 years of my life, I was doing television. I was working for ESPN, CBS Sports, Turner, NBC, and I was really in a great trajectory with television. And so I had some other really good opportunities to be a head coach in these last couple of years. Before then, I was the head coach at Georgia Tech and the head coach at Memphis, and then a long time assistant at University of Arizona, and played there and part of the team that won the championship in '97. I say all that to say that every time I had these last couple of years, I had a couple jobs that were good jobs. I had opportunities at them, but it didn't feel right in my stomach. You know, there was just kind of that feeling. When this job became open, I was like, and they called me to interview me. Like I knew, like I wanted it bad. And so to answer your question, I've been coming to Vegas for 30 years. My dad used to be running tournaments, still runs tournaments here in grassroots basketball. I have a great understanding, being a basketball guy and a love for hoops, of what this program has meant to this community and to this city. Obviously, going back to what Jerry Tarkanian, his staff, and his teams in those 80s and 90s, what it meant. And obviously since then, there's been some good teams and some good programs, some good years and good coaches, obviously during that time, but it's been a little bit, they need new energy, that's just part of the deal. And so I always felt this was a sleeping giant, and it just the trees need to be kind of shaken a little bit. And so when this opened, I was like, man, this would be an unbelievable opportunity. Yes, there's challenges. What job doesn't have challenges? But the opportunity and the more you guys get to know me, I'm a glass that is overflowing type of guy. And everyone can talk about, there's a lot of competition now. I think that's awesome. We got to be involved with it all, because to me, the more foot traffic through and everything else, it's what makes this place great. And I really believe this city is a basketball town. I mean, it's the love for hoops. And I think Las Vegas is what it is today. The epicenter, the capital of the sports world, the epicenter and the capital of the entertainment industry, because of what Jerry Tarkanian and his teams did in the 80s and 90s to put Las Vegas, to put the four letters of UNLV nationally, globally, where everyone knows it, and has built what Las Vegas has become today because of that, because of basketball. And so to be sitting in this chair, to be wearing this polo with the four letters of UNLV, the Runnin' Rebels, the back of your neck hair sticks up. You get goosebumps. The excitement, the enthusiasm. I mean, there's no words can describe it. And every day that I get up and ready to go, like, I have such excitement to try to continue to move the program forward, how to build it back, and excited about that.
This is phenomenal. I love this energy. This is great. Now, you were doing TV for 2 years. One, was that fun and something that you could have seen yourself doing until this opportunity came up? And two, what do you take from doing TV from 2 years and then bring it with that energy to this job?
First of all, I absolutely love television, and I'm telling you, and I'm anyone that knows me, guys, Dave and Matt, that I'm a down to earth dude. What you see with me is what you get. But I felt, at least from the bosses that told me that I've got a good trajectory moving upward and where I was going in television. And it is a great life, and it is awesome. And they're hard in the positions that I was doing in television are very, very hard to get. Like the studio stuff that I was doing with the networks that I was doing, I'm just telling you, it is very hard to get. So for me to leave that, you better be something better than to do that. And what I would tell you is during those 2 years, it gave me a chance to go around, watch different programs. Because, guys, when I was coaching in the ACC, and I'm telling the ACC that was the prime ACC, when you had 6 Hall of Fame coaches and about 2 more is going to be in the Hall of Fame. And every night you play, there was 5 pros on the floor from, all over. So, no one was going to let you come to their practices. No one was going to let you talk to them about their inner workings because you're competing against them. In the television deal, I had 2 years where I got to spend time with coaches, talking to coaches, going to practices, going to shoot-arounds, really learning and studying, asking about the NIL and about what has worked and what hasn't worked, and then trying to make sure that you're prepared so when that opportunity happens, you're ready to go. And so and now I've had a lot of coaches were telling me, stay in TV. Do not go back to coaching. This new climate of college basketball, don't do it. What I would tell you is I'm the other way. Being in it, I love it. I love recruiting. And when I was recruiting in my other places, you would be chasing a young prospect for 2 to 3 years. And then all of a sudden it gets down to 3 to 5 official visits. And then if you get the player, you're elated. And if you don't get the player, you're devastated because you spent 2 to 3 years of your life chasing a prospect. Now this is instead of 2 to 3 years, it's 2 to 3 weeks.
That's short, Josh?
Because when you take over, think about it. You are locked in on the portal. You've got to do a great job evaluation. And guys, it really comes down on the front end. What you're dealing with the agent.
Yeah.
What is this prospect? What do you need? What's the NIL is going to be?
Right.
And if he says, hey, to get this guy, you're going to have to spend 1.2 million, 1.3 million. I really appreciate it. Moving on to the next guy. And if the next guy says, hey, hey, look, this is 250,000. Okay, we're all in. How do we recruit him? And then now from there, you got to recruit him. It might be between you and another school. But for the another kid that you wanted, you could have wasted all your time. Now you just know on the front end, this is what the market is. This is what he's going to ask for. And you just move on to the next guy. So that's the difference of what and I believe in less is more, being efficient. And I just think this new way is efficient.
Coach, you understood the assignment because I think a lot of UNLV fans want to hear more about Tark and they want the old time program, those former players welcomed back and be part of your program. I'm guessing that's going to happen with how much you've talked about Tark already here during this interview, but where does the energy come from for you? I know I was watching a previous interview for you. You haven't had drink of alcohol. You don't do caffeine. You don't do coffee. Where does the passion for this come from for you?
Well, to answer your first question about the former guys, look, I've always said this. This is not my program. It will never be my program. I hope we win 5 national championships here. I hope we go 40-0 every year. I don't care what we do. This will never be my program. This is your program. This is the city's program. This is Las Vegas's program. This is the students' program. This is the alumni's program. This is all the former players and the coaches like Coach Tarkanian and his staff and all those great coaches. That's their program. I'm sitting in this chair as the gatekeeper, trying just to move the program forward in the direction that everybody wants it to go. Secondly, yes, I've reached out to as many of the former guys as that I've been able to do, and I welcome them and want it all back, because without them, and I mean this, without Coach Tarkanian's group and that him and his staff and the players, as I said earlier in our interview, Las Vegas is not Las Vegas. The Raiders, the Raiders aren't here. The Major League Baseball isn't coming here. The Golden Knights aren't. It's not the entertainment. It doesn't happen without that group in the 80s and 90s. So I recognize that. So this is their program. They need to be here and be proud of their program. Yes, I don't drink any. I've never had a sip of coffee. Never had a sip of alcohol. I don't smoke. What you see with me is what you get. I think Vegas is 24/7. The basketball coach better be 24/7. And what I would tell you is, where do I get my energy? I really want our teams to mirror how I believe our energy is and how I am, to mirror the head coach. But I believe in positivity. And a lot of people say this and they don't really mean it. They just say it because it's a line. Man, I live my life like this literally every second. Like, I understand the preciousness of this job. I also understand that literally, and I believe it. If you go to my X handle at Coach Jay Passner, and I have it on there at the top. I've had it for a long time. That every day's a gift, every heartbeat is a gift, and every single breath you get is a gift. And when you can understand that and not take these things for granted, to the smallest thing, including sitting in this chair as the head coach at UNLV, how can you not be excited and not be energized and not have enthusiasm and excitement about every day? And so I guess it's just how I am, and I understand about that, and being around and understanding. Again, I go back to the word of preciousness and gratefulness, but I believe in that. That's just not a word of I just put up on my wall and just walk past it. That's who my DNA is. That's my insides. That's my fiber of what I'm about. And then that's why, because of the energy every day. Last thing I'll tell you on this. One of the most impressive things I think I've done as the head coach here at UNLV, of your team, of your program, is that there was a stretch there where I was probably sleeping maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours to maybe 2.5 hours a night. I think the most impressive thing was that when I was going out to dinners, that I did not fall asleep and put my head right into my steak or fall over sideways in this chair. To me, that is so impressive. Like, come on, how I should get a pat on the back for that, to be able to go in that little sleep and be able to be that attentive at every meal that I was at. I should get a kudos for that.
Listen, that's great, but that's what's expected here in Vegas. All right, we run late, we run long. This is you're right in the speed. Jump right in there. This is good. Now, I looked it up, and I don't know the number, but I know the family's back in Atlanta. I mean, I got 3 daughters. Matt has 1 daughter. How do you do all this and have this energy with all them kids? I mean, you got a big stable, no?
I got 4 kids, 14, 12, 9, and 3. And they're all back in Atlanta. You're exactly right. There's been some times where I've gone to bed at night about midnight, and I said, "Oh my God, I haven't even talked to my wife or kids because I've been going. And I'm not proud of that. I'm saying I'm not proud of that. But I then would get up at 3 in the morning to make sure that, hey, to call my family before they got to school. But I will say this. So they were with me, and look, my wife's my best friend. I mean, she's, my kids are, family's everything to me. And they were with me here at the press conference. And I swear to you this. And so we flew in on Wednesday morning, back when I got the job, press conference that day. We flew in Wednesday morning. They were here with me. And then Wednesday, they stayed at the hotel. Then we had an event Wednesday night, and then Thursday. And I actually told my bosses, I said, look, I love my family so much. However, I need to get them back to because I got to work. Like, it's too hard. They're calling me. They're needing me to do this because they're at the hotel. I've got the car. I said, I got to get them back. Otherwise, I can't do the job. I can't coach at UNLV well in this initial first 60 days. I need to get them back to Atlanta. So now that things have calmed down a little bit, I'm ready to get them back to Vegas and kind of get into a house and get back to a kind of a normal life.
Coach, teaching at UNLV, I've been doing it now for 5 years, and I've talked to Dave about this a lot on and off the air about how being around young people, I'm 48, so being around young people, oftentimes I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me. I teach a broadcasting course in the journalism department, and we're talking a lot about, this type of stuff, doing interviews and talking about content and how to produce content. But I'm also learning from them about how they relate to the world and how they present themselves to the world. As a coach, how much of it is teaching? How much do you love that part of the relationship with a player, not just basketball, but just being around them as people?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons, as David asked earlier about the TV deal, why leave TV? I mean, I had missed that part. It's interesting doing television. Like I said, it's awesome, but it's you sometimes are sitting there and you miss that interaction with the locker room, that interaction. You win a big game and you go in there and guys are pouring water on you, and look, losing stinks, but even trying to teach a lesson about how to bounce back after a tough game type thing. You know what I mean? And so you miss that, or guys calling me, hey man, coach, man, got previous guys that I've coached, and I'm a big believer in relationships with guys. And even now in today's game, as much as it's transactional, I don't want it to be all about transactional. Yes, it's still a business. I get it because of the NIL and all that stuff. That's how we are today. But I want it to be about, the relationships and getting guys better. I have my belief of survivability in this game has been about player development, in the sweat equity, in the trenches with the guys, in the foxholes with the guys. I mean, that's what it's about, of every day of getting the guys better. And so, you miss when guys call you and say, hey man, coach, man, I just had my second child, or, guys that you coach, I'm getting married. Will you come to the wedding? And whatever, stuff like that. And I've always taken pride that for the guys that I've coached, and look, you both know this in sports, when you go through a season, not everyone's going to like you. I mean, that's just you there's going to be confrontations. There's going to be people that disagree with you. It's like a family. You're with each other so much. If certain guys aren't playing as much, they're going to be mad at the head coach. It just is what it is. But I would tell you this, if you ask any of the guys that played for me, if they were put in a room and I wasn't there and they said some things about me, those guys would fight for me, say, you don't talk about coach like that, and vice versa. If I was in a room and someone said something about our players and they weren't there, I would be all over, would fight for them. And that, I think, is all about what you want and what you about. And I'm so excited once we get going here in the summer to get everyone back on campus and start working and getting them in the gym.
Last one for me, sir. Can you build those relationships, one, in the current environment in college basketball, and two, there's a lot of questions about the Mountain West. And now that you're here and you're building it, what are your expectations for being in the Mountain West? It's not the ACC, although the ACC isn't the ACC from when you were there, but the challenge is changing so fast. College basketball, I mean, you were out of it and doing TV for 2 years. It's very different than when it was just that 2 years. And now the Mountain West feels like it's all over the place.
Yeah, well, first off, to answer your first question, Dave, what I would tell you is this. And yes, it's first of all, college athletics is in real time movement. You better be flexible. You better be willing to change. You better be willing to adapt. I call it wearing loose fit clothing. Like, you can't be stuck in your ways, because that's not going to work in this today's game. I mean, by tomorrow, the UNLV could be in the Big Ten or the ACC. I mean, literally, or Florida State could be in the Pac-12 or the Pac-10. I mean, you just don't. I mean, that's really how evolving it is. It's literally day by day. I say all that to say this. A couple things. Number one, here's my 5 things, Dave, that I believe in the current climate. Number one, you've got to be zeroed in on player evaluation through the film. You know why? Because look, unless you're getting the 11 to 12 million NIL budget, you better be really good on evaluating. So evaluation still matters. That's one. 2, player development. You got to get guys better. Just because, as we talked earlier, it's still money involved, and it could be a little bit more transactional than before. Agents are involved. You better, as I like to say, the survivability of our program is player development, getting guys better. 3, okay, when they get to campus, you better be in the locker room from the first day and remind everybody, hey, man, not everyone has gotten paid the same monies here. I'm not going to share everyone what everyone makes contract, but we're not pulling. It's no secrets. I believe in transparency. You can't tell these 3 guys, don't say anything to these. You know they're going to talk, so you might as well just hit the objective head on. Hey, certain guys are getting more money than others. Other guys are getting more money over here. These guys can get me more. That's where we're at. That's the fact. So you better address it and not try to be secretive about it. 4, you better coach your team with great accountability, great discipline, and demand the highest level of excellence without worrying that are they going to transfer or not. You better coach your team that you're going to assume the entire roster is going to go in the portal next year, and you're going to have to start all over again. If you try to coach your team that hey, man, let's not do this, let's not be too hard on them because we want to keep them, we want them to like us so they come back next year, you're going to lose. So you better demand excellence, coach them hard, hold them accountability, be disciplined, with the assumption the entire team's going to the portal. And you're going to have to start all over again.
Okay.
You got to that. And 5th and final, when the ball is tipped, every second, Dave, my loyalties to the players. Because this is a player's game, man.
Yeah,
it's about the players. And so my loyalties to the players. But hey, Dave, Matt, when that ball is tipped at 7 p.m. and that thing's going up there, the one time my loyalty shifts to UNLV, meaning that UNLV wants to win the game, meaning that I got to play the best players on the floor. So it's not about loyalty to the players, it's loyalty to UNLV, meaning that I'm putting the best players on the floor and there'll be no politics involved, meaning it doesn't matter if someone's getting $500 or $25,000. I'm putting the best players on the floor regardless of what their NIL is, because we need to try to have UNLV win the game. Those are my 5 things I think how you got to coach in today's game.
Unbelievable. Really cool. We'll get you out of here on this question and kind of dovetailing off of that. So I started coming to Vegas when I was working for a company called Rivals doing college basketball recruiting. I was doing it mostly for Creighton basketball, but that's where I first started coming here. That was about 15 years ago. I've been in Vegas now for 10 years. watching this market in the way that AAU players all come here, I've often thought, well, look at Team USA basketball practices here. So you've got a ton of people with eyeballs from the pro level. We have AAU basketball coming in here like crazy. And UNLV kind of fits in the middle of those, up, down as these players develop. Can you still go and recruit the AAU world? You've coached in it. The AAU world. Can you still do that? Or is it simply just taking the mid-major / player on the development side and bringing in a sophomore or junior?
Well, Matt, so I think there's a couple components to that question. It's a fair question. I think the way we want to build it here, I think you got to have a mix of high school and portal guys. But the reality of it is a 21-year-old is going to be better than an 18-year-old. It's just the facts of it. And so, they're going to be stronger, more mature, and have already played college basketball. Plus, you know what you're getting because you're watching film who've played against other competition in Division I basketball. That all being said, I think there's a mix. So you can be more selective on high school recruiting because of the new world, Matt. It actually has hurt high school recruiting. There's no doubt about it. But you can't get a roster filled of high school guys. It's just not going to work because it's just not happening. I go back to like Duke even, who got, with the Cooper flag. Yes, he's really good as a freshman and Knippel's really good as a freshman, but they also have some other really good older guys around him. And so, yeah, if you're getting Cooper flag, that's somewhat different. But how many Cooper flags are out there in the reality of it? So there's got to be a mix. There's got to be the intentionality of it, of how you construct a roster. Portal's going to be your baby, but you still got to do a great job in kind of the backyard, or finding that right kid or two in the high school, or maybe three, and then just kind of go from there and then build it out with the rest with portal. Plus, you got to see who else is going to come back. Now, let me just also say this: in the world of also recruiting, let's say there's a guy. Let's say I'm recruiting Dave.
Yeah,
Dave's a really good player. And I'm recruiting him, and I'm able to offer him, and I have a great relationship with Dave and his agent, and I'm able to offer him $300,000. But
I'm in.
You're in. However, if you're really good, and Kansas and Arizona and UCLA and USC come and offer you $750, we're not getting you, and it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so when you go back to the Mountain West, those are some things where we've been involved with some really good kids. And I really felt the players that we signed in this recruiting class that we have for coming this year's team, because we had to start from ground zero. I think it was almost like kind of like a Moneyball approach, if that makes sense. We had to be great at evaluation, finding guys, doing our homework, finding what we wanted to find and what was important to us. But there was a couple guys we recruited that I thought we were close to getting. And all of a sudden, guess what? An SEC school comes in and just picks them off within 24 hours because they doubled what we could offer them. I had multiple times that happen. And so, but that's the reality of the game we're in. And so you're going back to the Mountain West. I think the Mountain West is a really good basketball league. I think there's really good coaches, good teams, good programs. I think it's a versatile league because there's different styles. I think there's great home court advantages all throughout the league. That's why we need Thomas and Mack to be not just a sixth man moving forward, but a seventh man. We need to have a big time home court advantage here so teams can't win into Thomas and Mack. But when you are in the Mountain West, the facts are you've got to, you're going to miss out on some guys against the players of the other conferences, of the Power Four plus the Big East, just strictly based on NIL. And so the Mountain West, which is a great basketball league that has multiple teams into the NCAA tournament year in, year out, but you're kind of in that in between, if that makes a sense, between, where you're fighting who you're fighting against. And then all of a sudden, you're getting after league. And a lot of the power teams are coming into the Mountain West when the season's done to get those guys to go there. So that's where you're in between at that time.
I got to real quick on the way out.
Go ahead.
Do your kids play sports? Your own kids?
My kids play volleyball. My daughters love playing volleyball. They play basketball. Yeah, so
how hard is it being your kid? Like your energy, we just met. You just got me fired up. There's people that want to come to UNLV and play basketball for you right now. I love this energy. I live like you. My kids complain like, Daddy, you got to relax a little bit. But I coach my kids. Your kids, do they understand what they are up against here with this?
Dave, let me tell you something. So I was watching my oldest daughter do volleyball one time. And I told this to my wife. And I didn't think she was having she was not being an energy giver. And I couldn't, it was bothering me. And I just said, and so I'm talking to her why aren't you diving on the floor for the ball? Why isn't there a bruise on your knees for diving hard for the loose ball? You're not playing. And she's like, and I remember she walked out with my wife and she says, Mom, I'm mad at you. And she goes, why? She goes, because you know why? Because you married Dad. And she's like, what do you mean? She goes, because Dad's 6 feet. She goes, if I want to be a Division I volleyball, why didn't you marry someone 6'7"? And that's because, seeing around all these volleyball players, the girls are tall and really, and so I'm like, but she was sort of right. But on the other hand, but she said that, but on the other hand, I was also like, I said, you know what? My daughter maybe just not going to, maybe she's just not able to win a 50. Like I'm always talking about 50-50 ball, loose balls, diving on the floor, the competitive excellence. Maybe she just doesn't have that. And I've got to be where my youngest daughter does, and maybe my oldest who is competitive, so I just maybe have to say, okay, when I go there, I got to remember this, I'm not coaching, I'm not evaluating a prospect. I just got to understand, because when I'm coaching guys and there's a loose ball on the floor and we don't come up with it, to me, winning that one possession or that loose ball is more important than actually breathing. It's hard for me to fathom when we don't come up. You've got to have that mentality to be aligned with me. So when my kids aren't like that, I'm like, I'm like, why aren't you doing it? And then I've learned I just got to let it go. And they're just not going to be a high level, could not be maybe a big time athlete. And that just is what it is.
Well, Coach, I'm so psyched that you are now the head coach of UNLV, because I think folks around town have been looking for someone to embrace the program the way you've already embraced it. We can't wait to see you this fall. October will be here before we know it. Thank you for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hop me on anytime. Let's keep talking some hoops and looking forward to it. We'll get back on as we get closer to the season for sure.
Let's do it. That's Coach Josh Pastner from UNLV joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Great to get him on the program. That was a super fun conversation. And if your heartbeat's not beating right now, I don't know if you're alive, because that was. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, that's exactly right. What the whole city needs.
100%. You need someone to sell the program. You need someone who
he's selling himself. He's selling the program. He's selling effort. He's selling Mountain West. I'm not worried about the transfer portal. I'm adapting. I'm embracing it. That's great, man. I hope we can get that. I hope we can get that thing turned around. We'll be going to games, and it'll be great.
He's great to embrace, and Joe Arrigo and I have talked about this a lot during the process in which who was going to get the job. I was talking to Joe, who's probably the most tapped into media guy and has been on the show a bunch, friend of the program of ours, about what UNLV was looking for. And he said, Josh Pastner wants the job, and he's actually really, he wants it. And I go get him, because if somebody wants to coach at UNLV, it's different than, well, they wound up at UNLV.
Right.
And they're on their way up. Like TJ Otzenberger, who was on this show when he was the coach of UNLV. I'm still close to TJ. TJ was at South Dakota State, and TJ was always looking to become the biggest coach you could be. He went to Iowa State. He went back to where he was a head assistant under Coach McDermott. That was always his trajectory. Coach has seen the ACC. Pastner has seen the highest levels of college basketball, and he's choosing to want to be leaving television, like he said, to coach UNLV and to embrace the culture, which is something that's hard to do if you don't really understand it. He played at Arizona. He's played on the West Coast. He knows under Lute Olson. He knows what it is this program could turn into. And Thomas and Mack, I've gone to tons of games since I've been a coach, and I've been a player. I've known the coaches, and I'm a teacher, so I get tickets all the time. It sucks to go to a college basketball game when there's only 2,000 people there. It's no fun. No. It's the energy is garbage. I want to go to a college game with 8, 9, 10,000 people.
Yeah.
I want to go to a rocking gym.
And the building is big.
Yeah, it's cavernous.
So when it's full, it's huge. But when it's not even close,
it sucks.
It's less than a high school game.
Yeah.
You can hear every squeak. You feel like you're playing in a summer league game. It's just different. It went back to that, a couple of years ago. It was on the up, and
Otzenberger had him on the up, and then TJ went back to Iowa State, And then, it wasn't really Kevin's fault when he came in. He had kind of a hand tied behind his back, and he never really was able to recruit the way that you really wanted him. And frankly, I mean, Lon Kruger is an unbelievable coach. And when you're the son of a legend, it's difficult sometimes when you have to live up to that expectation of what fans expected you to be. And Lon wasn't the coach, Kevin was. And so there wasn't a lot of that salesmanship going on that you're getting with Coach Pastner in terms of, I want to be here. Heck, in the first 2 minutes of the interview, he mentioned Tark like 4 times.
Yeah.
That was a big issue for the former players. And this is where Arrigo will tell you, a lot of former players at UNLV, the grandmamas, Larry Johnsons of the world, they want to be a part of this program. They want to donate NIL money and help the program, but they didn't feel welcome. They didn't feel like they could come back and do that, or that it was wanted for them to come back and do that. Got a coach like that who's saying open door,
right?
It could be big. It really could be big for them to wind up doing that, to come
Get
in
us out of here. We'll finish the show in bonus time.
This was a lot of fun. Really, thanks to Coach Pastner. Thanks to
great.
UNLV for helping us set that up and have him be a part of the program, because that I love talking to guys like that who just frankly get the show in a lot of ways, because what they bring to the table is awesome. If you're live, don't move. We have more to come. If you guys are on the replay crew, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Bonus time starts now. And into bonus time.
$300,000. I would have taken it in a heartbeat. I can't hit a straw anymore either.
Isn't it so wild though? 5 years ago, that would have gotten UNLV in NCAA probation. That comment.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we're in a whole new world.
Said, we got a guy for $250,000 and he's going to come, and then SEC school calls us, we're going for you $500,000. Well, guess where I'm going?
They're gone.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense. I mean,
they're all 1-year deals, man. It's crazy.
That comment of when he was going through those 5, saying, okay, I'm going to build a team. And then the next year, I am already thinking about rebuilding the entire roster again.
It's unbelievable when he said, I have that written down, coach with the expectations for every one of them to transfer. That's unbelievable.
Every one of them.
That's what he said.
Oh,
I mean, that's pretty strong but you have to have that mentality the way the business is set up now, right? You have to.
God, it's tough to see college basketball turn into this. I mean, 1 or 2 players coming in and out, transferring 13 players in and out every year. Like, what?
It'd be tough to have all these meetings with agents for 19-year-old guys.
I mean, we'll have later on this summer, Coach McDermott from Creighton will come on, because he can talk about his roster building experience, because he just did that for the first time. His starting 5 next year is going to be all new, completely new team next year. They paid a kid $1.7 million. Creighton University paid a kid $1.7 million in NIL money.
What a world!
I mean, I still can't get over that. $1.7 million.
For a year,
for 1 year to play basketball in Omaha. So freaking.
You get like a bi-weekly paycheck with that, or how's that work?
Awesome question. I'm not sure how it gets paid out. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Like
my gut tells me that the kid says, "Look, remember what happened to the Matthew Sluka kid?" Yeah. My gut tells me that the check comes before they start practice day 1.
I don't know, but either way, if you get the bag up front, that's one thing. And then if you get half up front and then half at the end, or, throughout the season, it's fascinating, because, I mean, think about being 19 and, hey, did my paycheck hit yet? Oh, it's $80,000.
80 for 1.7 million. It's to my $400,000.
Well,
check.
I mean, that's $80,000 times 40 is, that will get you out to that number. Wow. So I don't know.
Wild times. Bet it or book it. All right, we go to tonight. Jets Stars. I'm expecting Hellebuck to play like Hellebuck does at home. And I think the Jets probably win tonight to extend the series, but I like the under best in this game. Bet it or book it.
I think this is a bet. I like Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
I do.
Western
I do.
Conference Finals. Set it up.
Sidewise, I like Dallas.
But it
I
still
think-
goes under.
Yes.
Okay. 2-1, 3-1.
Could be 3-2. We may get one of those games like we got last night with Edmonton and the Knights.
Bet
Where it goes-
overtime, yes.
Where it goes into overtime. 3-2
Okay.
final. But
I'll
yeah,
take
I
it.
think it's going to be an absolute barn burner. I mean, you get the desperation of Winnipeg. Hellebuck at home has to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
If Dallas scores first, look out.
Oh,
And if Dallas gets a 2-goal lead, it's a wrap.
agreed.
They
But then
get a
it actually
2-0
helps.
lead, it's done.
It helps my under because then I think they sit on it, and it's going to be
Correct.
2-0, 2-1. The game goes under.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't mind that scenario if that happens. We get to the under. Same bet. I'm going back to it. I'm 3-1 so far in this series. I missed it last game, but going right back to it. Under 5.5. Caps Hurricanes.
It's a little harder, I think.
Mhm.
I think under is a bet here too, but I'm worried about how the way that game ended last time.
Mhm.
If the Capitals are losing and they pulled a goalie, this is going to go over, and it's going to be 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, some silliness.
5-2
happens at the end.
last game.
Yeah.
I just think the first two games of the series were both dead unders, 2-1, 3-1. And I just think both teams are going to have a hard time. I think it's going to be pretty tense in this game here because
Yeah.
Washington can't give up goals because they can't score. So
Yeah.
like Washington, I think it's going to be extremely tight. And I think you're going to see both goaltenders be sharp tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Logan
This one you get a low first period, either no score or one score, and this thing goes down, and you could get the 3 and the 4 working for you, or the 4 and the 5.
All of these new names in the chat.
Rich, maybe
I'm loving this, guys. This is
awesome.
awesome. There's so many new people coming in today. It's awesome.
Under first period is hitting every game in this series. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I think
All
it's a
right.
good bet. It's under 1.5 in the first period there. And then this is not really a bet as much as it's a position. Denver +5. I'm taking the points. I'm going to bet OKC at some point in game, but I'm taking Denver at pre-flop, Denver +5, but I want to come back with the Thunder at some point during the game.
That's fine. If you expect Denver to start good, taking +5 early is good. They started really bad last game.
Yeah.
That was in OKC.
I think
so-
the energy in the building is going to be electric. I think you could even
Right.
get Denver in the first quarter. I don't mind. I think they're going to come out with their hair on fire, and I think Jokic is going to have. I think Jokic goes for 40 and 20 tonight.
Okay.
It's a
Makes
Jokic.
sense. This is probably the side to play. I will say book it because I think OKC wins the game.
Okay, but they can
Yeah.
win and not cover.
Correct. But I think they win the game and somehow fall 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't think it's a double-digit win, but I think it's more than 5. So so man, this is real grown-up time for a young OKC team, right? Like
And they're
they
growing
go
up
and
in our
clinch
eyes
this series on the road. Huge.
for their confidence.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still can't believe that 3-point shot that Jokic hit at the end of the game, last game. The pirouette top of the key 3
Yeah.
that he knocked down was one of the craziest shots in that moment. To take a shot like you're playing horse at the Y and
Yeah.
he hit it.
Yeah.
Guy's just ridiculous. Along those lines, so for the prop bet of the day, kind of what you're talking about here, I'm going to go Chet Holmgren over 14.5 points for this today. I think he'll have a good game scoring. He has not hit this the last 2 games. He's been cold from the outside, but I think Holmgren has a good game here today for OKC. They're going to need him to add scoring because I think all the intensity is going to be on SGA today. And Denver says, look, you can't get beat by SGA and get bounced. So I think it opens up the role players' opportunities to score. Holmgren over 14.5.
I like the thought process, but he has not hit it in the last couple games, you said?
Last 2 games. Nope. Oh, missed the last 2.
Yeah. I'll say that repeats. I'll say book it.
He gets the minutes and he gets the shots. He just has to hit them.
Has to make them. Right.
Okay. That's going to be that will be the biggest question is that he has to hit them. Will he? I think he will, but we'll see how it plays.
Okay.
Quick Ohtani watch for us today. For Ohtani watch, last night, bottom of the 8th, 4-3 game. The A's did what we had talked about. They walked him. Whoops. Mookie Betts comes in and blows the game open. How about this stat? This is wild because it's starting to happen a lot more here, and it could be something to watch throughout the summer as we go. May 7th, May 10th, and May 14th. Teams have chosen to walk. The Marlins, Diamondbacks, and the A's all chose to walk Shohei to get to Mookie. RBI walk, a fly out, and a 2-run double.
Yeah. What do you think?
This is a bad idea, is it not?
Yeah, it's not a good idea at all.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is, again, we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. You can't walk them all the time, but when do you do it? Like, do you do it never? Do you say, you know what, I'm going to go after him? I mean, maybe if you have a lefty and you go after him, you try, but the problem is he can hit it over the fence, and then that doesn't help either. Yeah, it's a, believe me, the Dodgers don't need any further help in doing anything. I mean, you just wake up on May 15th and look at the standings. You're like, they won this many games already. It's too easy. It's too easy.
I mean, he's in scoring position standing at home plate. So I get the theory. Like, I understand, like, all right, let somebody else do it. But this is not, I mean, you're talking about an MVP that's batting behind Ohtani. You can't just say we're walking him to get to Mookie Betts because Mookie's going to make you pay more often than not. And he did last night for the A's, blew the game open, and Mookie was pissed. Like, he did not like that the A's walked Shohei to get to him, and he was on second base, and he was fist pumping, and he was fired up for it. I don't know if you really want to make Mookie mad. I'm not sure that's the right way to do it.
You only do it once.
Right.
Like, the A's won't do it again.
No.
You'll do it once in a series and take a shot, and then you won't do it again if he's successful. And if he isn't, then you'll go, oh, okay, next time that happens, you'll do it again, and then Mookie will probably be successful. It's not like you're pitching to a 220 hitter.
Right.
So
Ohtani bomb again. Yeah, lineup's too good, Mike. I agree.
Ridiculous.
It's you can't give them extra base runners. It's a bad idea. Like, I know it sucks to pitch to Ohtani, but you can't give them extra base runners. It's a losing proposition to go ahead and try to pull that off. You're going to get burned. Last night the A's got burned. It won't be the last time if somebody decides to walk Ohtani to get to Mookie.
Right.
Favorite thing about today. We wrap the show every day with positivity.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite thing about today, Dave?
So we just got a lot going on, period, in life and in the house and everything. And, at some point, I'll tell you guys, hopefully, whatever, we'll see. But just had a random act of kindness and generosity today that hit home so nice. My favorite thing about today is that it's good to know that exists out of nowhere. Just like, really made me feel good, and is going to come in handy. But like, it's just one of those things that, like, hey, give me your email address, and then send me something. And I'm like, wow, what? So it was just really nice. I really, really appreciate the fact that people look to help other people or want to be a part of something when they feel like they need to, even expecting nothing in return. It's such a good way to live when you do that. And then my other favorite thing about today is that, like, when yesterday it came out of the appointment and the car didn't work, I took an Uber ride, and my daughters were with me, thank goodness, to order the Uber. We drive home. I sit in the front seat in the Uber, the girls sit in the back, and I meet this guy. Turns out he's from Boston. He lives here now. He's second time stint here. He left Boston during COVID. He had an hour and a half commute each way. And we start talking. He says, I got to be home in time for the game. And I said, well, I assumed he meant the Celtics. And he goes, no, the Knights game. And I told him, I said, Oilers and under. We're going to talk about this on the show. He's like, really? What show? And I said, it's called The Bostonian versus the Book. He's like, really? I said, yes. My co-host is from Boston. We talk about a lot of Boston stuff. Immediately subscribes. to the
It's
show,
awesome.
which was fantastic. He said, well, I'll listen to it. I'm driving around. It'll give me something to listen to. Perfect. You'll love it. Hopefully, you enjoy the show. Thanks for the ride and everything. We get out of the car. My daughters look at me and go, how do you do that? Talk to that guy like you know him for years. You just met him.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know, but that's my thing. And hopefully I'm going to get to keep doing my thing because that's what I do. So
It is.
favorite thing about today is talking to people and the generosity of people. Awesome.
Never actually met anybody that could have been a rabbi or a priest in a different life.
Might be my backup plan.
I honest to God think that in a different life you were a rabbi or a priest.
Yep.
Because the way that people just spill their guts and just like here,
I know.
To watch it, it's like, how did that just happen? Like this person wasn't saying anything 5 minutes ago, and this person now is a puddle. Like they just dump, and it's taught me, watching you do that with people has taught me so much about the weight of shit that people carry around their shoulders and their necks. And so many people out there just want to be asked, are you okay? Like, what, are you all right? And it's just like, fuck, here. Everything just comes pouring out of them. And how many people don't get asked? And it's, look, I'm not trying to make it sexist, but a lot of times it's men who aren't being asked that question of like, are you all right? Like, what's going on with you? Because I see it with guys, not that women don't talk to you, because they do talk to you obviously a ton, but men talk to you when you just simply give them the audience. Like you just ask very basic, simple questions. It's not like you're probing somebody or prying into their personal life. You just ask a very simplistic question, and all of a sudden you're an hour in, and this person has told you their life story and told you about their grandfather or their mom or their dad who's been sick, or their uncle or their brother or somebody in their life that's caused, strife or issues or problems, or they've been taking care of their sick mother for the last 4 years, and that's caused their health to go down the tubes because they haven't been worried about themselves and worried about somebody else. So it's a gift.
It's unbelievable. And it's, I treat it with great care because I know that might be the only time that person may actually get to say that in a free and open environment. Like when I was working at the book, I used to talk to all the cocktail waitresses, or they used to talk to me, and I would listen in between them serving drinks while it was slow in the book. And the guys that I was working with were young guys, and they're like, dude, she's so into you. And I'm like, dude, are you nuts? I'm married. I got multiple girls. I'm good. And they're like, well, you should talk to her. Can you talk to her for me? I'm like, just ask her how she's doing and let her talk. That's all you have to do at the beginning is let them talk. And this outlet has given me a place where I can actually talk and people listen, because in my own house, ain't nobody listening. So this has been wonderful.
I have two. One, the new people in the chat. This has been awesome to see. Mike, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. We love people watching on Twitter. If you guys are watching on Twitter, you can be a part of the comment section. It pops up when you guys write comments. I see the comments. So it pops up. Dave sees them too. So go ahead and if you're watching on Twitter, that's tremendous. So awesome to see the new names, the new handles, people come in and be a part of the program, being a part of the brigade. You guys we call you guys recruits. The more recruits, the better. Go tell one of your friends, go bring somebody else involved, help us support and grow this thing as much as we can. Along the same lines, and kind of the same thing, and why I wanted to talk to Coach, because I'd seen a bunch of interviews with Coach Pastner, and I'm always motivated by people who want to help others. And look, he's paid well to be a basketball coach. Okay. It's not like he's doing it for free,
right?
But he brings a positivity to the world, to a conversation where he's not fake. I mean, that's not caffeine driven. That's not, driven by anything else. I have coffee here. I don't understand how he's getting through life without drinking coffee. I'm a complete addict of it. But I look at my kids who are graduating, and so many of them are spending the next, week through finals, and they're going to graduate or they're going to finish up a year of college, and they're constantly looking around for what they should be doing. And I feel like, and I did this whole thing yesterday on Instagram. I went for a ruck, and I was, I saw something online that pissed me off about adults telling kids not to chase their passion. and not to go to do the safe thing that so many of these kids are being sold a bill of goods from people who are in the industry because somehow we've all made millions of dollars. And so whoever's telling you to chase your passion, we're just acting like you can be like us, and you can't. Well, you can be like us or me or Dave or whatever. You just have to be willing to endure what is going to come from chasing that passion. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be hard for years and years. But if you're willing to put the work in and you're willing to suffer to get to what you want to get to, the journey is what makes chasing your passion so fun, not the destination. The destination is unpromised. You have no idea what that destination might be. It might be, a B level, C level, Pat McAfee level. I have no idea. You don't either. But if you love that journey and you love where you're going, like Coach was talking about, like, do you get up every day and do you think about every heartbeat? Do you think about every breath? Do you think about everything that you're given today? Fucking 10 years now, like right now. And I say, we talked about this off the air a ton, but like doing the show is a gift. Getting a chance to do the show every day. We get to do the show. Not, I have to do the show. Fuck, I got to do the show. No, I get to do the show. I get to go on here and have this conversation.
I get to do the show.
Right?
Yeah.
I get to do this.
Yep.
I get to become, or come in front of you guys and have people listen to the two of us fucking talk about nonsense and talk about sports and numbers. And like, that's a gift. And that's chasing, to me, that's chasing my passion. That to me, like, we made $0 doing this show today, guys. Like zero, nothing, no money, none. We will do it again tomorrow. Yep. Why? Because we fucking love doing this. Yep. So that, to me, my favorite thing about today is just, the opportunity we are given to talk and to having guys like Coach Passner on, who delivered as well as I thought he was going to. I was like, this guy's going to kill it for the show. He was unbelievable. So he was huge. Really, really thankful for him to come on in to be a part of this. Brandon writes, I worked for the same bar for 9 years, worked for 2 managers that sucked. I waited and waited, and now I'm the GM. Now it's more sweet every day from the work that I did. Awesome. Another recruit. Another person.
You don't know when, you don't know how, and you don't know where you're going, but you're going always forward, never straight. That kid told me that. Live life like that every day. Just keep going.
We're back
We're
tomorrow.
going to keep going. We'll be here tomorrow. We won't be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
Yes, next week. We're off next week.
Boys know that.
We're off next week. Roll call Friday tomorrow. Then we'll be back on Thursday, but roll call Friday tomorrow. Maybe a talk on the Knicks or Celtics for a little bit. Just for a little bit. He is.
We might have an emergency spaces if there's a game 7.
Let's go. Coach Passner, thank you for joining us. That was awesome. Go back and watch the show. Like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Roll call Friday tomorrow for the Bostonian versus the Book.